live in the studio in Manchester, so it was fun. You know, I was like, oh my God, they're doing well, these boys.
So Tank Girl is one of the best comic to movie adaptations. Were you familiar with the British comic before taking the role, and how did you become involved with the film?
Well, simply I was just asked to do it, you know, and thought it'd be fun, you know. I think a lot of it's good. I just think it misses somewhere, but you know, I'm glad that people like it. They do. So I just don't want to go in and spoil it for them, tell them why I don't love it. I enjoyed playing that part, you know. It was sort of fun and, you know, larger than life, chewing a bit of scenery and talking about water. You know, it was fun. Yeah, it was great. And no, I tell you what, I don't like the film. I'm not that fond, because I remember we shot it in Tucson, Arizona, in a disused copper mine, about 130 degrees. So that wasn't much fun. But I remember bashing the thing and smashing this big glass, huge glass map behind me. And when I went like this, the prop man had a gun and had to shoot out the glass where I hit. And I was real nervous that he was going to shoot my hand off. So, you know, it's funny what I'm thinking when I see it. I always think of that, of course, you know. But it turned out pretty good, and I love Laurie Petty. You know, she's terrific. And Naomi Watts was in it. And I knew Naomi from before, and you know, I'm thrilled that she's had such a great career, you know, living in the shadow of the other Australian.
I guess you're talking about Nicole Kidman, isn't it?
That's the one I'm talking about. The tall one.
So, with Clockwork being so ingrained in pop culture, do you remember a time just in your everyday life where Alex or the movie was brought up that you were taken aback by?
No. I think I've heard every question there is to be had about that film. And you know, when I made the film, you know, I was a young actor who was, you know, at the start of my career. I did not like just being known for one damn movie. In fact, I rather resented the damn movie, and I refused to talk about it for the first 5 years. I went, next, I'm on to something else. And I didn't like the movie because that's all people were obsessing on, and, you know, and I was doing other things. And nobody likes that. I mean, gee, get over it, you know, let's move on, guys. Well, here we are, 44 years later, and yeah, I'm happy to talk about it. It was a phenomenal experience, of course. You know, Kubrick, you think, my God, the master director, but the truth is that, well, why he's so brilliant is that he casts the right person, and then he has this way of getting out of you somehow. And not in the same way that Lindsay Anderson did. Lindsay Anderson, I would say, is a much more sympathetic director. You know, he was wonderful with his actors. He was used to dealing with actors. Kubrick didn't like actors, and he mistrusted them. He didn't even like them. He wanted to fire them all the time. I had to beg him, don't fire him, Jesus, he's good, just talk to him. I mean, do you want me to talk to him? I mean, he was terrible. You know, he didn't have any patience. And he was obsessed with, do they know their lines? I said, Stan, knowing the lines is the least of it. He goes, no, I can't shoot it. I went, I know, but that's not what acting is, knowing your lines only. It's the whole thing between the lines. And, you know, so we'd have this banter all the time. But he was strange. You know, he used to go like this to me, Malcolm. And when he did this, I knew somebody was going to be fired. And we'd walk outside and he'd go, what do you think of that? And I go, well, I think they're great. I'd always say, I think they're great, Stanley, but they do need you to give them a bit of direction. He goes, I don't have time for that. I'm going to get rid of them. Gone. Now the time when he chose someone, I think he chose a stuntman to play an eminent doctor at the end. And he's supposed to be an eminent surgeon who's been knighted by the Queen for services to the medical profession. So obviously a well-educated man. He goes and chooses a stuntman. I mean, nothing against stuntmen here, but they're hardly the most well-educated of people at the best of times. And I say, gone to a university, blah, 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 and all that. So they're walking in, and he's supposed to be Sir something or whatever. And this guy goes, well, how are we doing today, little Alex? You all right? And I'm in bed, and I went, Stanley? No. He goes, what's the matter? I went, oh, excuse me. You didn't hear him? Are you not listening on those bloody cams? I went, listen, the next day, listen. So, how are you doing today, little Alex? You all right? All right, are you? And I see Stanley just suddenly take the things off and just laugh. Cut, okay. Fire. Hook. So we stopped shooting for half a day, recast. Then the guy who played the minister goes, well, I have a friend. Get him. Okay, yeah, he's in. So he appeared the next day. And we went on and shot it. Stanley goes, is he well educated? He goes, but he can speak English, Stanley. Oh, good.
So you were cast as Dr. Loomis in Halloween. Taking on a role that was made famous by the great Donald Pleasance.
Yeah.
What did you want to do something completely different? Did you use some of him as inspiration? How did that go?
Well, I never saw it, so I didn't even have a problem. There was no question of me copying it because I didn't see it, and I still haven't seen it. So I just did my own Loomis. I mean, I can imagine. Look, what Donald did. You know, he did Sinister better than anyone I know. I mean, he was an amazing actor. I knew him, you know, to have a drink at the bar in the Royal Court Theatre in London, and I knew his daughter, Anna Pleasance, and so you know, I didn't really have to see it to know what he did. And but you know, if you're asked to do something, you have to do your own thing. You can't just copy what this terrific actor did, because you know that you would definitely fail. You have to make it your own. And then when I did the first one, which was a lot of fun, I love working with Rob Zombie. He's a tremendously talented guy, and we had such a blast, you know, on the set. Then the second one, you know, I nearly didn't do it. The Weinsteins didn't want to pay me, etc., etc. So I'm just playing golf, you know, on my golf course, just not worrying about it. And they're shooting and they're pushing Loomis back to, in the schedule and waiting for when they finally have to pay, which they did. And so then I scoot off back to Atlanta and start shooting, and I said to Rob, I don't want to play the same Loomis as I played. I'm going to get bored. He goes, what do you have in mind? I went, you know, let's make him a total prick now. He goes, I like that because you're the only one that's profited from these murders. I went, I love it. You've written a book. Oh, perfect. And you've been a total asshole. I love it. And there's a very funny scene that they do on a talk show, and they have Crazy Al, or what's his name?
Weird Al Yankovic and Chris Hardwick.
Yeah, what's he called?
Weird Al Yankovic.
Weird Al. That's right. I said, have you met Weird Al? I went, hello, Mr. Weird. And he's a very funny guy. So we did that bit together, and it was a lot of fun. It was all improvised, you know. It was fun, and I enjoyed it very much. The PR, the lady playing Elizabeth, playing the PR lady was incredibly good. She was an improv thing, so we could just make up the scenes as we go along and the whole deal. So it was a lot of fun. And then there's a kind of redemptive thing at the end, and then you don't know whether Loomis is killed or not. Well, as there's no, you know, Halloween 3, new 3, I guess he's killed. So I don't know. I don't know whether I'll be coming back. But if they do it, I'll come back. It's too much fun. And what kind of a doctor, by the way, is Dr. Loomis? 17 fucking years? Curing this fucking monster? The guy breaks out and kills half the town. Nice job, Doc.
Sorry, still recovering. Did you really receive death threats after killing Captain Kirk in Star Trek Generation?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think they were all Shatner's family. He's a hoot, that man, I have to say. You know, I never got to work with Leonard, but I will say, as he passed yesterday, sadly, that I did meet him at a convention. And he was one of the most extraordinary and beautiful people I think I've met in business. We had a beautiful lunch together. I think it was in Calgary, and he was fascinated, you know, to hear about my stuff, and I wanted to talk to him, of course. And, you know, if it wasn't for Leonard and Bill Shatner, you wouldn't be seeing Star Trek now. It would never have been the cult thing that it became, and the huge money-spinning operation that it became. And it's really down to Leonard and to Bill, of course, those two primarily, even though it was a terrific cast. But, you know, the sets, when you look at it now, you laugh at the cardboard sets and the whole thing. But, you know, those two, with their charisma and their chemistry and their absolute unique talent, really made that franchise. And these other guys, Patrick Stewart, get down on your knees, Patrick, and kiss their feet.
Well, thank you for your time, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Malcolm McDowell.
Thank you.
Listen to me, that is Alex.